Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Midweek Minutes. This past Sunday, we had the season finale of our series, Rooted, and episode 4 was titled, Rooted to Clarify Our Identity. And our passage was taken from John chapter 1, verses 12 to 4. Let me read it for you. But to all who believed him and accepted him, he gave the right to become children of God. They are reborn, not with a physical birth resulting from human passion or plan, but a birth that comes from God. So the Word became human and made his home among us. He was full of unfailing love and faithfulness, and we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son. Rooted to clarify our identity. You know, we had a point on Sunday that says that our identity is children of the Most High God. That's who we are. That's who we should display to the world. You know, oftentimes we can have those identity crises because we're trying to measure up according to the world standards. But we don't have to measure up according to the world standards, and we shouldn't be playing the guessing game. Who am I? You know, when my children and I would travel with my wife, we would play what we call the guessing game. Guess who? And so we would give clues and we would try to guess who the person was. For example, the person who would have that individual in mind would say, this is a politician who went to Harvard Law School. And then we'd guess. And we'd say, is it President Obama? Yes, that's who it is. And you know, oftentimes we can give clues to who we are by just living a life according to the way God has told us to, by the way we act. And when we know who we are, who our identity is, and our identity is in Christ, then that informs how we are. You know, we've all heard the saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. And there's appropriate times when we travel, for example, where we are able to just, you know, get accustomed to the culture, and then we can assimilate based on the culture. For example, many foreign countries, they don't have the concept of personal space. And when I've traveled overseas many times, I have to remember that. Like, personal space is a United States concept in many ways. You know, there's no such thing as personal space unless it's within your body. You know, when you're traveling on public transportation, people brush up on you and it's nothing. And so when in Rome, it is appropriate at times to do as the Romans do, to assimilate to the culture. But we had a point on Sunday that said that God's children don't have to assimilate to the culture because we are adopted and accepted. So I encourage you, know that we've been adopted into the family of God, and that God accepts us just as we are. We are loved. And because we are loved, we can know who we are and act accordingly. Thank you for joining me for another edition of Midweek Minutes. Remember who you are. Goodbye for now.